Hi, guys.
Hey.
We're running late. You all know that.
It's been a morning.
What we do. Anyway, today we wanted to talk a little bit about directional prints and cutting them, reading a pattern so that you can cut them, and piecing them. Jen and I do a lot with directional prints, and we are known to be fussy.
We are, and do not disturb, turn off. This is my phone telling me that, hey, guess what? JK Quilts is live on Facebook.
Thanks. Okay, so when I did this Stomping Ground quilt, there are a lot of directional prints in here. We've got elephants that are all, right way up. And some, in fact, even this one with the tossed monkeys and tigers is directional.
Right.
And Jen and I do a lot with text prints and all sorts of things. The thing is, if it doesn't bug you, don't worry about it.
Right.
It bugs me.
We're a little OCD.
So
It's all good.
So we're going to talk about how to get it right when working with directional prints.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that, we're going to make an elephant today. And we're going to use one of the Jungle Paradise fabrics from this quilt. These are birds. As you can see, the birds are all upright. They're not tossed. I said tossed to somebody yesterday, and they looked at me like I was crazy because I think I said tossed cows. And then they looked at me, they're like, "You're looking for tossed cows?" And I was. But what I mean by...
I know exactly the fabric you're talking about.
I know. But what I mean by tossed is that they're all different directions on the fabric. So if you've got like tossed snowmen, then you've got snowmen facing every different direction, in which case the direction does not matter because it's meant to be all over the place. Now, these birds are not tossed. They are directional. They're all facing one way. They're upright.
Well, okay, so our froggies here, they're tossed.
These are tossed frogs.
Sorry, guys, I got braces.
And she's lisping. It's
I'm
awesome.
lisping really bad. Actually, this is way better than it was 2 days ago. But I'm going to let Liz talk as much as possible.
And I'm going to enjoy when she does. Anyway, so we're working with directional prints.
Right.
Sometimes it's the creature on the print. Sometimes it's words. A lot of text prints. There's a lot of tossed text prints too, where the words go.
Which we love.
We love tossed text prints because then it's not a big deal.
Dear
florals,
designers, make more.
Yes. There's a lot of directional florals out there, which once again, if it doesn't bug you, then who cares? In fact, I just mocked up a design for a fabric line that came in yesterday, and I had to mock it up digitally to see it actually put together to find out if the not tossed floral was going to bug me in the quilt because it couldn't all go the same direction.
Right.
And I found out that it didn't.
Well, but I will find sometimes directional words don't bug me when they're tossed. When I make them tossed.
Yeah.
By pieces. That's a terrible word for me today.
This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Okay. Anyway.
Another hard word. Get rid of the S's. Not just so.
That starts with an S too. I hope y'all find this as entertaining as I do. It's making my morning so much better. Okay, so we're going to get back to design boards because when making animal blocks like this,
we
love design boards. I had to go cut this out this morning because I was not prepared. Yesterday was a day, so we were doing good. That goes up here.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't go there.
So I cut all my pieces out, but I'm going to show you a little bit about cutting here in a minute. And we lay them out on the design board where they go. These little squares that are on top of something, that's because they are that flip and stitch corner.
Right.
So Jen has the pattern in front of her, but she could look at this and tell you how it goes together based on how I laid it out.
Right, because Liz made this.
I did.
And cut it all out. I've done nothing with this pattern before.
But the thing that we're going to start with is flip and stitch corner. So I'm going to let her sew that for a minute. And while she does that, I'm going to talk to you about patterns.
Iron.
And, and it won't explode this week.
Yay!
I had to go get another one because I got here and then I realized, oh yeah, we
blew that up last week.
We shorted an iron last week.
The week before, not last
2
week.
weeks.
Right.
I'm here. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about cutting. When people write patterns, hopefully, if they're doing it correctly, those two numbers that make up the dimension of your block aren't in any random order. Okay? Because the equation, ever so technically, guys, I know I'm going to get into math here, but if you've learned algebraic thinking, you can do this. It's always length times width.
Always.
L by W. So if they are writing it for a directional print, they have written it L by W. I'm going to be honest with you, not everyone does this. Check your pattern, go through it. If you're not sure, go through the pattern and see where that piece goes and make sure that it's got the direction. But it should be L by W, length by width. And by length by width, I mean length, how tall it is, by width, how wide and how fat the piece is, okay? So if my measurement is 2.5 by 4.5, it's going to be 2.5 inches tall and 4.5 inches wide.
For instance, this is a 3 by 2.5, not a 2.5 by 3.
Yes, because it's 3.5 inches tall and 2.5 inches wide. And that's important when you're cutting out directional prints to know which direction that needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Wendy, when she wrote this pattern, she included a diagram of how to cut this out of a fat quarter, and her diagram was assuming directional fabrics because she wrote it for this one. If it's not written assuming directional fabrics, then it doesn't necessarily work. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. So if you are OCD about directional prints, like Jen and I are, then you have to do a little bit of extra work, and it's just to make sure.
But the best thing to do, if you're going to be doing a lot of them, is to start with a block like this one.
I start with the big piece, and then this one,
well,
and then I realize that these two are the same.
But even for your practice block, to do one that's not directional.
Yeah. And so that's just it. Like, there's a bunch of these where it didn't matter. And so that was really, like this one, I love the leopard with the pink ears because it didn't matter. I could do it however I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to cutting, you can pay attention. Like, this piece is clearly our trunk. The narrow measurement is the width, and the long measurement is the height. Right? We figured that out. The legs are narrower than they are tall. So when you look at the block, you can usually figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, if the pattern's written really well, it's length by width.
Right.
That should be awesome. The dimensions of the whole project.
Mm-hmm.
Now, directional prints can be printed differently. There's 2 different ways, and it depends on the way the designer planned it to know which way it got printed. This directional print is printed running the yardage of the fabric. Okay, that means it's top to bottom along the selvage, and so it's running yardage is the length. Am I saying that clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other way we see directional fabrics printed is width of fabric, okay, from selvage to selvage. And if that was the case, they would be this way, right? Okay. So when you're dealing with directional prints, especially with a quilt back, if you're going to back a quilt and you've got a directional print, and I made this mistake last week.
Did you?
Can I just tell you?
You've made it before.
I've made it before. Anyway, I had a quilt back that I wanted, and we had 4.5 yards left, and I said, well, I need 4 yards of it because I'll do it and have my seam horizontal. And I didn't necessarily pay attention to what direction my directional print was running, and guess what? I needed my seam to be vertical. But I also have extra blocks from that quilt, so I'm going to piece the thing in the middle of my back. It's going to work out. But I should have taken the 4.5 yards we had left, and I would have been fine.
Right.
But
there you go, trying to be prudent.
Yeah, my prudence got me in trouble on that one. So it is definitely something to pay attention to. If your pattern is running the length of the fabric, so along the selvage, and you want it pieced back, your seam has to be vertical. Okay? If it's running the width of the fabric, then you can have a horizontal seam. Right. And I have made that mistake more than once. So it's just definitely something to pay attention to when dealing with directional prints. Mine will end up having like 4 seams in it in order to get it how I need it. So Jen and her quilters are going to love me.
Right.
I'll just quilt it myself. So I'll let Margaret quilt it, and she can't hate me. She just can't. Anyway, so directional fabric. Tons of fun. In fact, I really like it. Sometimes it can be a fun showpiece. I love this elephant in the middle of the elephant body on this quilt. It's just so fun.
Right? Because who doesn't need an elephant in an elephant?
I did. In fact, but then, this is my favorite part. When I went to go make my stuffed elephant, I made him out of tigers and monkeys and cheetahs.
Right. Of course.
But he does have an elephant on his ear, which is inside his ears are elephant bodies. So it's still cute. Anyway, but and actually, he has an elephant on his butt.
Nice. Lovely placement.
But upside down on his...
But
see, my elephant's upside down right here. And to be honest, that kind of bugs me. And I thought I had fussy cut it just right, and I fussy cut it upside down. But it's the body of the elephant hiding behind the trunk, and I think it's cute anyway. Mm-hmm. So, whatever.
Nice.
So Jen's working on our ear block.
I am.
I should look and see. I haven't been looking about questions.
Really?
Oh, I had something else I was going to tell you guys.
Apparently.
I was at the shop all day yesterday. So, this is totally off the subject of Jungle Paradise and directional fabric or anything of the sort.
But it's a great subject.
But a great topic. I'm opening this one up, by the way.
Oh, good. It came to mine.
So, we just got our chicken salad calendars, which sounds funny. But these are the 2022, which I can't believe is almost here, Lori Holt calendars that feature her chicken salad,
which should come in December for the January
which comes out in December for the January so long. They have a cute block for every month on the calendar. There's a piece of cardboard in the middle of this. I'm trying not to drop. It's a nice heavy stocky thick paper. And if you pre-order your chicken salad quilt kit from us, you get this for free.
Right?
So if you haven't pre-ordered your chicken salad kit, you should. And this is your freebie that comes with it. And I'll even give it to you before December if you would like it. But
I'll mark it off. But yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a Lori Holt fan and need to do this sew along, because Jen does, along with quite a few other of our chicken
not to
lovers.
mention, this is a beginner sew along
Yes,
for her.
this one is much simpler than some of her others.
It's a lower price point than a lot of hers.
And it's definitely a lower price point than the one that's happening right now. So if you've been interested, it's going to be awesome. And you can have a coordinating calendar that would be adorable in your kitchen or sewing room or wherever you see fit to put it.
Right.
But see, it's like chickens with their cute little kiddos. Anyway, but if you're not going to do this so long, you can buy a calendar because they're in the shop. But if you want to get one for free, you can make sure to reserve your chicken salad kit. I think Sarita said through October. She's taking...
Ooh, she's being nice.
Yeah,
it was originally going to be August.
So,
August.
So hurry. Cookbook, that's the fabric collection. It's on the thing. I had to read it. The fabric collection is going to be cookbook, but the sew along is going to be chicken salad because it's all chickeny, and so Jen's
It's so fun.
So happy about that. So I just wanted to make sure you guys know we had this.
It's not my fault you're afraid of my chickens.
And I do not like birds of any sort. I'm sorry. Although these are really cute birds on the fabric. I like that. But
she's afraid of birds, guys. She's afraid of birds.
They fly in my face. It's like pigeons in the city. Just make me want.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But like my chickens are nice.
Yeah, but we had chickens when we were kids, and I hated them too.
But mine aren't like the chickens we had.
But that's because people threw them at me.
Okay, maybe. So it's officially Donnie and Chris's fault.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the neighbor boy's fault that I don't like birds. I'll blame them forever. They are both full-grown adults and
professions and.
But it's their fault.
They used to take our scrunchies and put them on the chicken.
Yes, they would. They'd put my scrunchie on a chicken back in the day when scrunchies were cool.
Before they went out,
again.
but now they're back.
Anyway, random sidetrack there. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, Jen's having fun. She's doing a block
I've never done this before, and I'm not even looking at the pattern.
I know, but that's because you've made these. I'm going to take this little orphan block that we're making and turn it into a pillow to go with this and the stuffed elephant because, seriously, how cute is that? Anyway.
What seam do I match up?
The one that matters, that one, the two white ones. Yeah, so she's matching right here where this piece comes into here. Jen and I, once again, we're going to tell you, you match what matters. This matters. This doesn't, because that's not a seam right there. Okay. I wanted to point out a couple other fun Jungle Paradise-y things, just because we love this fabric collection.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's so cute.
Stacy designed 2 fun panels with this. There's one panel that makes like 4 different stuffies like this. This is a great project to do with your kids or grandkids because they can help.
But they're super simple.
It's seriously just like seam around the edge and turn it right side out and whip stitch it closed.
Right.
But they're fun little stuffies. And the other one...
Sorry, I must have lost a white square.
Uh-oh.
For my elephant bum.
Oh, it's in the corner.
He needs a rounded bum.
Maybe it's in my bag.
Yeah, see?
Ah, I found it.
He needs a rounded tuchus.
Okay.
There we go.
Now the other fun one is this quiet book, by the way, that comes...
With finger puppets.
Because, who doesn't need that? And it's a quiet book with a handle and flap up pages. And she has great instructions on the panel. And it's really simple to make.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, super jungly, counting some monkeys.
Right?
Fun. So they're fun panels that go with the collection. We've kitted like 4 different things for this one, I think. We've got...
Right.
Well, we've got the elephants, of course, the monkeys, and the pineapples, which are super awesome.
Oh, and we also did the
zigzag. The zigzag one.
That's my favorite.
Yes, and it's available in 2 colorways. There's the pink and orange colorway, and then the bluish green colorway. I love... Back in the day, when I worked commercial landscaping, I did flowers, okay? You guys, I did... that sounds weird being here in Idaho. But in Chicago, my job was exterior flowers year-round. Right, which was a real job. And in fact, I managed a whole department that did exterior flowers year-round for commercial properties. Anyway, but I don't know how many people I had tell me pink and orange don't go together. And they
haven't been in a jungle, have they?
No idea how much time I spent rolling my eyes where they couldn't see me to be like, pink and orange are fan-freaking-tastic together. And you're so wrong. So, because my favorite tulip out there is called a Dordogne, and it's a pink tulip that fades to orange. And it's gorgeous.
It's very pretty.
And so anytime people, I don't know how many ladies would tell me pink and orange do not go together. And I was like... quietly cursing them under my breath because I think pink and orange are amazing together.
They
like
look
this pink and
lovely.
orange leopard print just makes me happy.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys something on this block while we're moving. This is a good point to show you. Jen's been pressing open. Guess why? Because it's tiny piecing, it makes sense to press open. We are pressing into the trunk here, right? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to press to the side. This is the seam. I'm going to press to the side.
Absolutely.
Because there's all this bulk on this side. There's nothing on this side. So we're going to press it to the side. And we do that because the end goal is flat as possible. Right? So that's why, sorry, just had a moment. I was like,
right? I'm going to tell people.
Let me share why I'm doing this.
Right.
Okay. I was going to tell you guys something else.
I don't know, but I need it back so I can finish.
Okay.
I have like 3 seams to go.
I know. Seams.
Seams.
I just like to listen to her talk today. This is fun.
Thanks.
Thanks. You sound like this snake in the Jungle Book.
Snake.
There was something. I lost it. I'm sorry. Oh, mirroring blocks. That's what I was going to tell you about. Okay. I knew there was something else. On this quilt, you'll notice most of the elephants are facing this way, but we have a few rogue elephants. In fact, there's only 2. It seems like there's more than 2 when you look at it because you think there's just elephants facing different directions. But because of where they're placed, anyway, I thought it was more than 2 till I actually made the quilt and realized it's only 2. But we have these 2 elephants that are facing the other way. You do not have to have separate instructions to do that.
Nope.
In fact, you could make half the elephants face the other way. You can make them all face whatever way you want. And it's really simple, especially when you have a design board, because you're going to take the headpiece, and instead of it being on this side, you're going to put it on this side. And you're just going to set up everything opposite of how it was on the instructions. So mirroring blocks can sound complicated when you first look at it, but these kind of blocks are so simple to mirror because it's all about you cut all the same pieces.
What was on the right is now on the left, and what was on the left
lay out the order
now on the right.
The opposite way. So if you could do this pattern with all the elephants one way, however you wanted to.
Or, one row going to the right, the next to the left.
To the left. And so it's really up to you how you do that. But I just wanted to point out, you don't need special instructions to mirror a block.
Nope.
It's all about cutting out and laying out the exact same pieces, just all facing the other direction. What was on the left is on the right. What was on the right is on the left. I hope that's clear. Jen's almost done with this block, and then I'll show it to you.
Last seam.
All finished. And then we'll, let you go. But, yeah, all things Jungle Paradise. We have them in the shop. This is Ellie the Elephant. It's a pattern from Funky Friends Factory. She writes tons of great animal patterns. And then she also has pictorial and video YouTube tutorials. You still have to buy the pattern because she won't give you the
and the specific URL you have to type in to get to the video
from the pattern. But it's so if reading paragraphs to figure out how to make this is not your thing, there's great video and pictorial.
It isn't mine, but I just put my tablet next to me and just go picture to picture.
Yeah, and scroll through it,
So
and then
good.
It's really helpful. So it's kind of nice because it's designed for whatever your learning preference method.
And they're really not bad. I mean, some critters are harder than others.
Some are harder than others. That is for sure. In fact, somehow the elephant was easier for me than the hippo.
The squirrel was way easier than the goat.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That doesn't surprise me at all.
The goat was the challenge. I don't think we've shown you guys the goat yet.
We haven't. I need to show them the goat. The Yule goat.
The Yule goat.
And for anyone who thinks goats have nothing to do with Christmas,
study your Norse history.
Because...
Or hush. One or the other.
Sorry.
Just because it's not your heritage doesn't mean it isn't heritage.
Yeah. Or that it's made up.
Or that it's fake.
Well, it's no more made up than any of our other Christmas traditions to a point. Okay?
Right.
So, we're going to just call it that. And then we have a cute little elephant. I'm going to put a border on it. Well, a white border on him. And turn him into... Well, I should call it a her because it's pink.
She's a pink elephant.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to make him into her. Into a pillow. But thanks for joining us. Directional stuff is fun.
Totally doable.
If it's too stressful for you, then don't worry about the direction. But it's not too scary. Okay. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.